Welcome to a bonus episode of the Queen's Table Podcast. I am your host, Marissa J, and today we are going to be doing a little bit of a spin on an old tradition. Now, is this a tradition that any of us really do? Probably not. However, it's a tradition some motherfucking wear, so we finna start doing that, okay? Now, this is, of course, not going to be the last episode of 2020. This isn't even going to be the last bonus episode of 2020. No. Not even by a long shot. However, this is something that I do want to get out there. Now, there is a tribe somewhere, a culture, and they don't ask me who it is. I can't pronounce the name, okay? You can Google search this, all right? You got the Googles. Anyhow, so there is a tribe out there. And what they do is they gather everybody at the end of the year that got beef with each other. They get to boxing. Yes, they actually physically fist fight. And then everybody gets drunk. So that way that they don't take this dumb shit into the new year. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a spin, a little bit of a twist on that, okay? So basically, it's going to be that, but I'm just going to be messy about it because I can, okay? I'm going to air my grievances, and then we're just going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it in this episode, and this episode's going to be left in 2020, all right? I'm not going to address it anymore. I'm not going to bring it up anymore, okay? But I need to get some things off of my chest. Okay. And to the person that I want to get things off of my chest to, seeing as how they won't return any of my phone calls or texts, I guess is the only way that I'm going to have to do this. Okay. So we're going to get into that in just a second. However, I'm recording this episode on December 25th at 10:30 in the morning. And I do want to mention this news article up. So earlier this morning in downtown Nashville over on 2nd Avenue, there was an explosion. Yes. And a very big one at that. Now, there's only one news outlet that's calling this a car bomb. Okay, I've heard from other friends that there was gunshots. I don't know the whole story. Okay, the whole story is not out there. However, I do hope that everybody that was affected by this, because there were 3 people that had to be taken to the hospital, and people all over Nashville and the surrounding areas have at least heard or felt the explosion itself. So I'm sorry, my heart goes out to you guys. This is not a way to spend a Christmas morning. But if it was a car bomb that exploded this Christmas morning, that sounded like somebody was trying to send a message. I don't really know. Again, I don't have the full story. If you want to go and check that out, definitely Google search some of these Nashville news sites like WKRN, WGNS. There's a ton of news sites around that are covering this story. So definitely check that out. If you have family, friends, people, if your people is in Nashville, please go and check on them and make sure that they are okay. Not just physically, but mentally as well, because that has got to be a terrifying experience for everybody that was involved. So my heart goes out to those people. I hope y'all are okay. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. So, I want to air my grievances. Now, this particular person that I have beef with, okay, I don't even think that they're aware that the beef exists. And if they are aware, well, they're aware that I feel some type of way about them. But they have made very minimal effort to try and contact me and get this shit squashed. And at this point, I'm fucking done. So, yeah, I'm spilling all of the tea. All of the tea will be spilled today. So some of you guys know me personally. Some of you guys do not. Some of you guys have contacted me about an episode that I did previously called Marissa's Rant. Okay? Some of you guys have been asking me, well, Marissa J of the Queen's Table podcast. Who was that about? And I haven't really said, because I have had some sort of hope, I guess deep down inside subconsciously, I was holding out hope that this particular person would see the light and be able to correct his mistakes. However, it has become abundantly clear to me that this person does not have any intention on clarifying anything or making amends. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this episode. Why? Because I can. And if you don't want to hear it, then click it off, okay? You don't have to listen to this. Nobody has to listen to this show, okay? Let's go ahead and get into it. So, you guys know that I've been doing this podcast for 2 years. I have over 100 episodes, and you guys know that I switch it up all of the time, okay? I'm still trying to find my footing in this podcasting world. I believe that I have found my footing, and that next year, 2021, we're going to be doing some big things, and there's actually going to be a schedule. There's actually going to be a plan. There's actually things in the works. Now, I have started doing video episodes. Now, I would like to go ahead and clarify. My bonus episodes are not going to be on video. If they are going to be on video, it'll probably be my own personal Facebook page. I don't have a whole bunch of fans on my personal Facebook page. If I have some grievances to air out, I'll get on Facebook Live and I will air them out. Okay? I've done this once before. I ended up, did I turn it into I don't believe that I turned it into an episode. I think I briefly touched on it. However, my bonus episodes are not going to be on video, okay? It's strictly audio, okay? I feel a whole lot more comfortable when there's not a camera on my face, and I can speak my absolute 100% truth, all right? But with that being said, I have started doing video episodes. Now, everything that you guys listen to on here, on whatever platform, whatever audio platform you're listening to, whether it be Spotify or iTunes or whatever, iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening on, okay, you've gotten all of the episodes. There's no extra bonus content of videos or anything that's out there. You can already hear all of the episodes that have been done, but the last several episodes have been on video. Now, all of the video episodes, if you want to catch up on all of those are on the Queen's Table Facebook page, okay? My seasons, which we'll be getting into that on the next episode, the next bonus episode that I'll be doing, I'm going to start seasons. And those seasons are going to be on both the Facebook page and my Instagram page. Instagram is at TQC Podcast. Go ahead and follow if you already aren't. But so those are where the video episodes are going to end up being. Now, I say that because this is something that I've been thinking about. I've been pondering over. It's been mulling over in my head for the last several months. People have been wanting me to switch over to video episodes, and I have not been comfortable with it. Let me go ahead and explain why. I'm not comfortable with being in front of the camera because I don't want people to be so focused on what I look like, what my hair is doing, what I'm dressed like, why I have lashes on, why I don't have lashes on. I don't want people to be so focused on my appearance that my words end up falling on deaf ears, okay? However, we're entering into a new time, and there are certain things that are at play in which would require me to do video episodes. So that's where we're at right now. So that's the whole video episode thing. I wanted to say that because there are certain people out in the world that like to take credit for things that they really shouldn't be taking credit for. So let's get into who I'm speaking of. That whole Marissa's rant That was about Royce Massengill. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. He has a podcast called Royce's Rant. And I've been on his podcast several times. I think a total of 3 times I've been on his show. This is the same guy that was on not the Tiffany Elise, but the episode that we're speaking of. We touched on some topics. Me and Tiffany Elise did. Okay, we touched on some topics that we discussed in the episode before Hypergamy 2. Okay, so if you have not heard that episode, go ahead and catch up. I know it's long, but it's hella good. Okay, it's a really good episode. Very long, but very good. Okay, very informative. And on that particular episode, I had 3 other podcasters on the show. Now, these are some of the Lee Swinney of Millennials Anonymous podcast. Love her, okay? Had to get her on. Gotta get her back, okay? Richard Douglas Jones, he does Black Nerd Power, okay? Very awesome podcast. Gotta get him back. And I also had Royce on. So, Royce has been throwing shade. Royce has been throwing shade for the last several months. Okay? If you guys recall, I have promoted his show on this podcast before. I've promoted his show several times on this podcast before. Okay? I have made posts and tagging him in those posts. I mean, really, really riding for this dude because I thought who I thought he was. Well, turns out he's not at all who I thought he was. He has shown me time and time again exactly who he is. And I was refusing to believe that. Now, this plays into the lessons that we have to learn that came about this year in 2020. I know it's been a really awful, hard and rough time for everybody this year, but we had to go through certain things. We had to go through certain things so that we can learn from them. Why did we have to learn from them? Because next year, if you have not learned those lessons are going to come back to bite you in the ass. They will. Point blank period, poo. They will come and bite you in the booty. So we've got to be able to learn from these lessons and then let the shit go. Okay, so this episode here is me letting all of this shit with Royce go. If you haven't heard Marissa's rant, go back and check that episode out. It's a bonus episode. It's not too awful long, and I'm not going to make this too awful long either. I have been having some grievances with Royce. I had gotten pretty vocal on his show and was commenting a lot. And I started to notice that my comments started disappearing. I had called into the show twice on 2 separate occasions, multiple times. And he's all about call into the show. Called into the show. And my calls were never answered. Okay, let's chalk it up to technical difficulties. All right? So again, I have promoted Royce on this show several times. Not once has Royce ever promoted the Queen's Table podcast. Okay? Now, I'm not too awful upset about that because Royce's listeners are not who my audience is. Okay? It's not who I'm speaking to. Now, I am very aware that all kinds of people listen to this podcast, and that's great. That is wonderful. I absolutely love the diversity of the audience, of you guys, because we're not all the same. We all need to listen to the message, okay? There's a lot of stuff that I have to say. And I'm glad that there's a multitude of people who listen. All right. The people that listen to Royce's show, however, are not who I am speaking to. They are not. I'm just going to be real with it. It's real heavy on the mayonnaise, okay? Real heavy on the mayonnaise. And when Royce sees all of the people that are watching his show, because he does it on Facebook, he does it on Facebook Live. And so when you do episodes on Facebook Live, you're able to see who all is watching, who all is engaging, who all is sharing, who all is commenting, all of that. Okay, you're able to see who all is doing all of this stuff. All right. And so when the timeline is heavy on the mayonnaise, and if you don't know what that means, please go and Google search it, because I'm not about to do all of that. I'm not about to do all of that. So when you see that it's heavy on the mayonnaise, then what he tends to do is change up the lingo, changing up what he says and how he says it. And then the message ends up getting turned around, not misconstrued, not taken out of context, but completely turned around into something totally different. I wanted to align with Royce this past summer. That's when we first met, during all of the protests and stuff. I wanted to align with him because I saw a young black man that, was trying to make a difference and trying to bring about change and, togetherness, So that's why I wanted to originally align with Royce, because I liked what he had to say. He had some differing opinions, yes, but we are not a monolith. We can have differing opinions. It's perfectly fine. But where I have trouble with is when you go back and you backtrack and you two-step so hard that you don't even realize that you're on live saying the words "all lives matter." That's where I have an issue. Okay, because first it was Black Lives Matter. You was always toting about the Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. You were sitting up here speaking at these protests and all of this. And then all of a sudden, all lives matter. How, Sway? How? Why switch it up that way? And then it goes back and then he goes forward. Then he goes back and then he goes forward. At that point, that's when I decided I'm going to disconnect, because we've already had a come to Jesus meeting. We've already talked about it. I've already explained to him, I don't think you realize, his least favorite word in the world is pandering. That is the least favorite word of his vocabulary. Okay. But honey, if the shoe fits, Cinderella, if the shoe fits, Cinderella, he does pander, and he makes himself palatable to whoever's watching that day. So if it's a whole bunch of black people, it's Malcolm X. But if it's a whole lot of other people, if it's real heavy on the mayonnaise, then he's a complete male Candace Owens, flips the script entirely. I don't like that. I don't like people that flip-flop. I really don't. I don't like people that change. I get it if you change your mind on something, that's perfectly fine. But when you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, that leads me to believe that I can't trust a damn thing you say, because you're only telling me what you think I want to hear. So once I noticed that, I started to disconnect from him. I stopped sharing his episodes. I stopped watching his episodes. Okay? I stopped talking about him on this particular platform. I stopped completely because I want to be removed from that. I don't want to be associated with somebody who flip-flops. That's what black culture and uplifting the black community and making some serious steps forward towards a realistic version of reparations. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm for. And I don't think I've ever made an episode in which that has ever been taken out of context or, turned around. And if so, please let me know so I can go back and listen to it. And I can either explain what I was talking about or I can make an addendum to it. Because that's not what I'm about. I'm not a flip-flopper. Now, you can be pro-black and without being anti-white. You don't have to be anti-white or anti-anything in order to be pro-black. And I think that when people do flip-flop and go back and forth, and when people do things like try to convince you that the Black Lives Matter movement is a terrorist organization or something bad or something evil, when people try and convince other black folks of that, and these black folks are like, oh yeah, well, when you consider it that way, no. You either on board or you're not. And he's not. So I've removed myself from that situation completely. Well, not completely. I've removed myself from that situation completely now. Obviously not completely if he had just been on the show. You feel me? But I wanted to have him on the show for a couple of different reasons. I knew that he was going to have some differing opinions. And I wanted the strong black people that were the co-hosts of that particular episode. I wanted them to be able to show him and bring him back into the fold. It did not happen. But either way, the reciprocity is lost among this young black man. It's gone. Lise shared that episode. Richard shared that episode. Royce was the only one that did not share that episode. I don't even believe he liked that episode. However, anytime that he puts anything out, any type of content, any type of what seems to be fishing for an episode topic, he tags me. He tags me and a bunch of other people. Don't get me wrong, it's not just me he tags, okay? It's a lot of other people, but I'm amongst one of the people that he tags in these things. And it's like, honey, are you so self-absorbed that you haven't even realized that I have not participated in a single one of your episodes in months? And yet you're still tagging me. He's incredibly so self-absorbed that he doesn't even realize I have an entire episode talking about him. He doesn't listen to the podcast, and that's fine. I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everyone. I understand that completely. I do. I really do. But when you're wanting to work with me and you're wanting me to be a part of your network that you're trying to start, when you want me to be a part of all of these projects that you want to do, and you don't even listen to the show, you don't even know what the fuck I'm about at this point. So I'm sitting here with my hands out like, what? Excuse me. But sir, you don't even know what I be talking about. So how is it that you want me on a part of your podcasting network? You don't know what I say. You don't know what I stand for. And again, previously I said that particular person will never hear that episode. And as of, not the last episode with Tiffany, but the episode before with Royce on it, I'm fairly positive if he had ever heard that episode, he would have brought that to my attention. He loves to call other people out on public platforms like Facebook and on his podcast and all of that. He loves to call other people out, but always continuously fails to see where he fucks up. And I'm a little bit sick of it. I'm a little bit tired of it. It's getting old. It's getting very old. Now, I do have plenty of other little teeny tiny grievances with this man, but I'm going to get to the big one. So his producer, and I'm not going to mention who his producer is. If you end up watching the show, you'll figure out who his producer is. But I'm not going to blast this man because personally, he hasn't done anything to me that I know of. Okay? And even if he has, that's fine because we're not talking about him. We're talking about Royce. Okay? So Royce's producer contacts me and asks me to do some voiceover work for him. Now, he and Royce both know that I've been trying to break into the voice acting spectrum, okay? I've been wanting to get into that type of work, that line of work, for a couple of different reasons, and I won't get into that now. Those reasons will be revealed later on, so just stay tuned for that. And when I say later on, I mean later on in 2020. Like, you ain't finna hear nothing else about some voiceover acting until the summertime. So it is what it is. However, they both know that I've been trying to get into voice acting. I have a Fiverr account and everything. Put a pin in that. Okay, remember that I said that, all right? So he contacts me to do some voiceover work for a music video that he was producing. So I agreed, and I went out to his house, and we were done with the recording in about 45 minutes. Yet I was over at his house for almost 8 hours. Damn near 8 hours I was with this dude. And we were talking about all kinds of stuff. And to him, I aired all of my grievances with Royce. Every single last one of them. I aired all of my grievances. Okay? I don't think that I held back on anything. So he then relays this back to Royce. I knew he would. And that's completely fine because there's nothing that I would tell this producer that I wouldn't tell Royce to his face. Okay, I'm not going to sit up here and talk about anybody to one person if I'm not willing to say it to your face. But anytime that I've tried to contact Royce over these last couple of months, with the exception of that podcast episode, and the only reason why he even responded to that is because this was a platform in which he could get his face on. Okay? This wasn't to help me out or anything like that. But anytime that I've tried to contact him about something, he ghosts. He's gone. He's gone. I've got receipts, by the way. I've got receipts. So just in case somebody wants to come out there and say, oh, Marissa, anytime that you've tried to contact me, no, I have receipts. I've got text messages and Facebook messages. And I do believe some Instagram DMs as well. So I've got receipts. Anytime that I've tried to contact him over these last several months, he has blown me off. Fine. That's okay. That's perfectly fine because you know what? I'm kind of used to it. I'm kind of used to people not being able to see just how far I can go. And then once they realize, oh, she going somewhere? Oh, now I'm going to get back with her. Now I'm going to connect. Now I'm going to try and connect. Now I'm going to reach out. This happens to me a lot, quite often. So I'm not fucked up over it. He already told me who he was, and I should have believed him the first damn time, but that's okay. Anytime that I've tried contacting him, he's ghosted, okay, over these last few months. But the times that he's been trying to contact me, he expects for me to drop everything. Guys, please keep in mind, I am a single mother. I do have 4 children. I recently started back working again. I hadn't worked since March. So when he and I met, my only job was this show. But bills is racking up, and Marissa needs a regular 9-to-5 job because y'all ain't sharing the motherfucking show like y'all should be. But anyway, I'm joking, guys. I appreciate you. But anyhow, so I'm back to working again. But of course, he doesn't even know this because a lot of people, not just Royce, but a lot of people have a nasty habit of not keeping in touch with me and then needing me for something and thinking that I can just drop everything to handle whatever it is that they need me to handle. People got a nasty habit of doing that. But that's okay. That's all right. That's fine. So Josh goes and I'm sure talks to Royce and lets him know, like, yo, you need to talk to Marissa and make this shit right. I don't know exactly what he said. I wasn't there. But I'm sure he let Royce know, yo, you need to reach the fuck out because she's kind of right. And the reciprocity has not been the same at all. So Royce then messages me. And then he calls me. And then he messages again. Now, I can see when somebody messages me, okay? I'm working. I still have my show that I'm doing. There's a lot of side projects that I'm working on that not everybody knows about, especially people that make it a point not to keep in touch with me. I'm busy. And at that particular time, I was at work. I was pulling a double shift. But I saw where he was messaging me. I'm not about to respond to you while I'm at work. You're not more important than my fucking day job. You have never paid me a day in your life for anything. So no, I'm not going to drop my job to answer your fucking phone call. Then I get a message from somebody else, somebody who is completely removed from this situation that says, yo, Roy's trying to get in touch with you, huh? And I'm like, yes, he is. But how the fuck do you know that? Because I know Royce didn't talk to you. So how the fuck you know? They said, go look at your Facebook page. Lord Jesus. This man wrote on my Facebook wall, Marissa, check your messages. This man wrote on my Facebook wall for me to check my messages. Did not ask me, did not, hey girl, or give you a nice little Facebook poke or something. Nigga, I see you were in my fucking messages. I see that. I'm not blind. I see it. I'm not responding to a reason. I didn't open it for a reason. I'm fucking busy. He puts that on my Facebook wall like he's digging in his guts. We are not doing that. I'm not dating you. You are not my man. I am not your woman. Okay? We don't have that type of relationship. And nigga, I hadn't heard from you in a minute. And then you just, Marissa, go check your messages. What? I have a very big problem with authority. So when people tell me to do something, not ask me, but tell me to do something. If the situation was in reverse, he'd have cussed me out. If the situation was in reverse, he'd have cussed my ass out. So I get back on. I say, yo, I'm at work right now. He's like, oh, okay, well, I just talked to Josh. And, I feel like we need to sit down and clear some things up. Okay, no, sir. I'm good. You're good. We're good. Because at this point, I'm shut the fuck down. Like, I'm sick of this now. At this point, now I'm mad. Now I'm tired. Now I'm irritated. You're bothering me while I'm at work. Okay? Any other time, you're like, yo, I'll hit you back up later. And then he never hits me back up. any other time. But no, you're going to bother me while I'm at work. I just told you that I'm at work and you mess me again. At this point, I'm irritated. And I don't talk to people when I'm irritated. Okay? I try very hard not to because my mouth real reckless. Real reckless. There's a reason why I'm single, okay? The second that I even think that you're about to say something off the wall to me, I'm gonna flip the fuck out. So I try real hard not to talk to people while I'm irritated. I told him once again, you're good. We're good. I don't have a fucking problem. Because, like, my nigga. But here's my schedule. I'll be off in a couple of days. So, moving forward, I just looked at the time. This is going on damn near 40 minutes. This is actually pretty long. But this is supposed to be a bonus episode, guys. I'm sorry. So, anyway, the day goes on. I end up having 2 days off 2 days later. So the first day off, I had a lot of stuff to do. That was the day that I recorded the episode with Tiffany Elise. And I recorded some other things too. I've done a couple of projects that day. I was busy. So the next day I had off and I messaged him at 8 o'clock in the morning. Again, people, I have receipts. I messaged him again. Hey, I'm off work. I've got the whole day off. I've got a few things here and there that I need to do. But for the most part, I'm going to be off today. I'll be free if you want to hit me up. Okay? This is what I say to him. He sees the message an hour later, right around 9 o'clock. He sees the message. What happened? Nothing. Nothing at all. Not, oh, well, I'm busy today too, so let me give you a call a little bit later on, or dang, what's your schedule looking like tomorrow because I'm busy or whatever. Obviously, this is going to be a pretty long conversation. Obviously, we're going to have to sit down and have a very long conversation. Okay, so we're going to need to map out some time. And that day, I had all day long. I didn't have anything major that I had to do at any particular time. I could always schedule around it for that particular day. But he doesn't give me a heads up on when he's free or nothing. So at this point, I'm like, oh, okay. So he's just not going to respond. Later on that evening, I end up coming across a post of his. He posted this. He posted a post and he tagged me in it. Thank you to all the people that were involved. Marissa Johnson, who narrated. And by the way, I don't go by Marissa Johnson. I don't really like for people knowing my last name like that, to be honest with you. It is what it is. It's not hard to find out. But I go by Marissa J, and he understands that. He knows that. I've said that several times to him before. One ear, out the other. That's how it goes. Thank you to Marissa Johnson and this person and that person, yeah. I didn't even know he had a hand in this situation. It wasn't him that contacted me to do the voiceover. It was the producer. It wasn't his house that I went to record the voiceover. It was the producer's house. It wasn't him that contacted me at all about this particular opportunity. It was the producer. Now, how this producer was able to get in touch with me, real fucking irritating, by the way. Again, I don't have any issue with the producer. But Royce gave this man my phone number. I had already talked to Royce about how to properly conduct business with me. If we're talking business, don't do it in a fucked up way. But this is actually the second fucking time. You don't give me even a heads up that, yo, I'm about to give somebody your fucking phone number. You just give my phone number out to people. Oh, okay. Okay. So how would you feel if I just start giving your number out? How would you feel if I just started 931? How would you fucking feel if I just started giving your number out to random people? I understand your producer is not a random person to you. But to me, that's a random ass nigga. I don't know him like that. Whew. I'm gonna calm down. I'm calm. I'm all right. I'm cool. Guys, I'm fine. So anyhow, I had no clue that Royce had even the slightest hand in this, but apparently he did the photography. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. And I could throw shade on the actresses that were involved in this, but I'm not. I'll say this. This was supposed to be some sort of pro-black thing. And you had I understand one person had to look a little lightish, but the other person did not have to. Talking all this pro-black stuff and you got a whole Hispanic doing something. But that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. Someone that does not identify as Afro-Latina. But that's okay. That's fine. Go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm not upset. I didn't want to be a part of it. I don't do the acting situation. I don't do that. But I'm saying you could have picked a brown-skinned girl to play that specific role. But I digress. This is not my baby. This is not my production. This is not my thing. I don't got a dog in that fight. I'm just here to do the voiceover. And that's it. And this voiceover, I agreed to it on a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that I can use this as something to put on my Fiverr account. Hey, this is another project that I've worked on. Okay? Hey, when people see that flyer of that particular production, they're gonna go, oh, well, who's Marissa J? Oh, who narrated it? Oh, the narrator was Marissa J? Oh, cool, dope. Where do I find her at? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So remember that time I was saying I'm trying to get into voice acting. So that's where all of this comes in at, right? So when I come across a post of that particular production and everybody who was involved, their names were on the banner, everyone except for me, I'm the only one whose name was not on there. Nowhere to be found. At all. Gone. Yeah, you tagged me in it. Sure. You tagged me on the Facebook post. Yeah, sure, okay. But what if I wanted to bring that out and say, yo, this is a project that I worked on to someone else? And they're gonna go, well, no, the fuck you didn't, because your name ain't nowhere on this bitch. Now I'm looking like an idiot. Now I'm looking like a liar. And now, at this point, you're fucking with my bag. You're fucking with my coins at this point. You want to talk all of this business, but you don't know how to conduct business. You're fucking with my bag at this point. And that is the reason why I had to come on this episode and start talking mad shit and spilling all of the tea. Okay? This is the reason why. When you fuck with my money, that's when I'm gonna have to call you out. And I'm gonna do it on this show, and it's only gonna be on the audio platform because, like I said, we're going to leave this dumb shit in 2020. That's it. We're leaving this in 2020, not bringing it into 2021. Royce Massengill, I do not want to work with you anymore. Don't reach out to me. I'm not not interested in trying to squash any type of beef that we have. Not interested. So after that post was made, I end up making a post on my personal Facebook page talking about how I want to go the fuck off, but I'm not going to. Because trust me, it would have been 10 times worse than this 45-minute episode, okay? I'm sure we're going to get well into an hour at this point. But I said I was going to go the fuck off. I had messaged some people had messaged me, what's wrong, Marissa? What's going on, girl? What you talking about? Who you going to go off on? Still at this point, I think I'd only mentioned to one person, two people who I was speaking about. Everybody else, I was still saving his fucking feelings. I was still saving his ass. I was still not mentioning who it was that pissed me off so motherfucking bad. Now, who was responsible for that banner? I don't know. I'm unaware. I don't know if it was the producer or I don't know if it was Royce. But Royce shared it. I know that. So you at least knew, even if it was the producer that made that banner, you knew that my name was missing. Oh, and a major shout out to such and such. This couldn't have been done without you. Really? To this other actress that was in this video. Couldn't have been done without her? I'm fairly positive you could have found any light-skinned girl to walk into a room, sit down, put a VR headset on, take the VR headset off, walk out the room, and throw a wig. I'm fairly positive that you could have done that. And that's perfectly fine. You went with whoever you went with. Okay, great, wonderful. You went with whoever you went with. But trust and believe, the type of voice that you were looking for, well, that your producer was looking for, apparently he had been all over Fiverr, didn't find me, but had been all over Fiverr trying to find someone to do this particular voice acting. And came to the conclusion that nobody else had that particular voice. Nobody else could do that. So I'm not essential. So not only are you going to give the biggest shout out, let's say fuck Marissa for 2 seconds, the whole ass rapper, not a major shout out to him? He was rapping. But F.U. Stan and Marissa J are the only 2 fucking voices that you hear in this entire motherfucking thing. But major shout out to the girl who sat down. Okay, appreciate that. Appreciate that. So, a couple hours later, come to find out, this particular post, I untagged myself in that. By the way, I untagged myself, and then a few hours later, the whole post was down. Took it all the way down. Why? I have no idea. But he took it all the way down. And the whole time I'm sitting here screaming, oh, now you want to fix it? I don't even think that he's going to fix it. It's not going to be fixed. And even if it is, it's only because I put out this particular episode. You never do shit the way that you're supposed to do shit until somebody calls you out on your bullshit. And that's the part I don't like. There's a whole lot to this story that I don't like, but that's one major part of it. replacing reciprocity with disrespect and audacity is not the way to get anybody into anybody's fold. But let me go ahead and stop right here, because this wasn't 100% on Royce. Nay. It was not. This was on me as well. This nigga showed me exactly who the fuck he was. Exactly who the fuck he was. He showed me who he was very early on. He's a flip-flopper. I'm going to go where the opportunities are. I'm going to go where the opportunities are. You don't even listen to my show, yet you're sitting up here begging for me to be a part of your podcasting network. How the fuck does that work, Sway? You got other people telling you, yo, the reciprocity needs to be there, yet when I tell you I have time to talk right now, you can't even message me back and say, oh, well, now I'm busy, Miss Lady. Now I'm busy. I don't even get a fuck you. Crickets. That's all Marissa gets is crickets. I don't have any respect for people that pull some shit like this. But I mean, that whole situation with the voiceover, you know what? Go ahead and keep that. And keep my name off of that fucking banner too, as well. Keep my fucking name off of that. I don't want to be a part of anything that y'all got going on. Somebody ask you who did the narration, say a ghost did it. Because at this point, I need to be dead to you because you are definitely dead to me. And we're going to dead this situation all together. 2021, the second that you show me who you are, oh, I'ma believe that shit. I'ma believe that shit. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You make a mistake, and I'm always going to correct you. And if you continuously make the same mistake again, well, there ain't gonna be no third time. I'll tell you that much. There's not gonna be a third time. And at this point, I had given Royce chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to make shit right, to settle things and make things right. But he never has, and he never will. He goes where the opportunities are. Another example of him being an opportunist. He moved out to Tullahoma. In Tullahoma, Tennessee, there was an alderman race. And there were a couple of people that were running for alderman. I believe that there was like 2 positions that were open. There was a woman named Jenna Allmacher who was running. And from what I understand, she's made some racist ass comments. She is not for anybody that has any kind of pigmentation. I'm not going to say she ain't for black folks. She ain't for anybody that has any kind of color to them. Okay? He begged and pleaded to have her on his show. And I guess it was because he wanted to call her out on some stuff. But she refused to come on the show. And he ended up getting her brother onto the show. I believe his name was Josh Allmacher. And he's been on the show a couple of times speaking for his sister. And I'm sitting here going, why even do that? Why do that? She's running for a government position, and yet she can't even speak to the public. She got to get her big brother to do it. And you're letting him? I'd have been like, hell no. Absolutely not. No, I said I wanted to speak to Jenna, not you, Mr. Man. But he let this man on the platform. Again, heavy on the mayonnaise. Meanwhile, there is a whole ass African-American woman, a black woman running for alderman. Has he ever had her on the show? No. And as a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say I know for a fact he never offered to have her on the show. Still hasn't. Still has not had her on the show. And people always tell me, oh, well, Marissa, he doesn't need to have her on the show. The election's over. She lost. So did Stacey Abrams, but she's still out here doing TED Talks. The only reason why I did not have Jamie Moorhead on my show, why I didn't reach out to her to bring her into the Queen's Table podcast so that she could have a platform to speak about the things that she wanted to do, the changes that she wanted to make, is because Tullahoma is not my stomping ground. I don't have a motherfucking thing to do with Bedford County in general, least of all Tullahoma. She shouldn't have been on this platform. She should have been on his. I don't got nobody from Tullahoma listening to this show. No one. I can see where people are listening at. Ain't nobody listening in Tullahoma. I can promise you that. So what sense would it make to have her on my platform? None. He could still have her on the platform. She ain't been on the show yet. These issues that I have with Royce, I'ma dead them. Right here, right now. It's done. It's over with. You are who you are, and that's okay. Be who you are. Be the person that's always trying to find that balance, that Libra in you, where you always trying to find that perfect middle ground, that perfect balance, honey. You ain't ever gonna get that. Ever. But especially not if you continue to treat people the way that you've been treating me. And other black women as well. Got this whole ass music video and not a dark-skinned girl nowhere? Nowhere. Got a whole black woman that ran for alderman in your hometown. I know you talked to her. I know you talked to her. I know you. I'm gonna shut up on that. But I know you talked to her. So why haven't you offered? I'll go ahead and make this pretty clear. Jamie, if you are listening to this show, Miss Moorhead, if you are listening to this show and you would like to speak your platform, speak your thoughts on my platform, because I'm actually doing some things with the community, not necessarily Tullahoma, but you'll be able to at least have a voice. Honey, I will shut the fuck up and let you speak. Okay? So if you are ever interested on coming to the Queen's Table podcast, Queen, this is your official invitation. And Royce, I wish nothing but the best for you, bruh. But you can keep all of that bullshit over there. Out. So what are some of the things that you're going to be letting go of next year? What are some of the issues that you may have? It can be traumas. It can be dramas. It can be all types of dumb shit. It can be all types of serious shit. What is the baggage that you will be leaving behind? Think of 2021's theme song as Bag Lady. Y'all remember Bag Lady, you gon' hurt your bag, dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you how you must hold the... Come on, guys. What's all the baggage you're going to leave behind? Let me know. You can always email me at tqtpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can let me know on Instagram at TQT Podcast. I'm also on the Android version of Clubhouse as well, but we're going to see how that work out. You can find me at Marissa J. Also, Anchor.fm also lets you send voice messages. Yes, you can send me a voice clip and I'll air it on the show. As long as it comes out before 2021, we'll go ahead and play it on the next bonus episode. Until then, y'all, fuck 2020.